Today we're going to be looking at Elitch Gardens. I've never been personally, so this is a fun time. Me and my girlfriend went ahead and got the season pass. It costed $90, and with it you get free parking and 2 free guest passes, which is perfect because they have a theme park and a water park. So next time we'll do the water park. But today we're going to look at the rides, the food, and the games that we got to experience. The first ride that we went on was the Mind Eraser. And this ride's wait time was about 17 minutes, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really like these types of rides. It's the ones where the cart is suspended from the railing, so your feet are dangling. And I went ahead and we got the front row seat on this one. The views just going up were amazing. A lot of vibrant colors, a lot of activity going on that you can see. And as we're just slightly dropping off here, I was getting a little scared. This ride is actually really fast. And because it does look small when you walk up to it, but it has so many turns. It's filled with just constant turns, constant movement. And with your feet dangling, you really feel all of that movement with the tracks. And it's a really exciting ride. I highly recommend it. I think it's my favorite ride at Elitch Gardens. The next ride that we did was the Star Flyer. The wait time for this was 16 and a half minutes, and the rating is a 3 out of 5 stars. These rides are always exciting to go to. I always like to go to them early on in the theme parks because they suspend you high up in the air like this. And you just kind of feel like a big kid again. You're in this massive swing set. You're being spun in circles to see the entire view. You know, we can see the entire park from here. You can see Denver's downtown central business district. You can see Ball Arena. You can see Empower Field. You could just see a whole lot from up here. And it's just a nice way to see the city, really. And we were having a great time. This is a really fun ride. The next ride was Twister 3, and the wait time for this was a rough 31 minutes. The rating I gave this was a 1 out of 5 stars. Now, this ride is the classic old wooden roller coaster that people still ride because it's still around. Now, they had a Mr. Twister, they had a Twister 1, they had a Twister 2, and then they brought back the Twister 3. And as you can tell, this is not in the best shape. You know, maybe it's time for Twister 4. Maybe it's time to just get rid of wooden roller coasters altogether. I don't know how they're still around, but they are. This initial drop was my favorite part. It was actually just because the view is really nice. These first turns, they did seem smooth. They didn't seem very bumpy. This first drop was great. And then right about here, boom, I hit my ribs so hard on the side that all the enjoyment I was having and thought I was going to have just completely got erased. My ribs were sore for the next 2 days. My girlfriend was having a great time. I think she's the perfect size for these types of carts. As you can tell, my hand is kind of like blocking my ribs with the side of the cart because I'm a skinny, lanky person. But she was kind of like the perfect size where her arms were like they could kind of prevent her from hurting anything. So if you're a tall person or you're a bigger set person, this might not be the ride for you. This was rough for me. Now, the next ride that we went on was Meow Wolf's Kaleidoscope, and the wait time was 1 minute 30, and the rating was a 2 out of 5 star. Whenever we got into the line, they instantly asked for 2 people to go up, and we got chosen, so we got lucky there. This ride is a 4-person cart, 2x2, and you get these little green guns, and you just shoot at little laser recognizing sensors with your little laser pointers. And I thought this ride was fairly enjoyable. It felt like, more of an art museum type of thing and more of an immersive art experience that we kind of just got to go through. I'm not sure what the guns were supposed to do, so it was a little bit confusing of a ride. If it was no guns at all and we were just traveling through an immersive art experience like this, just a lot of colors going on, a lot of activity going on, a lot of props that they had, a lot of little characters, And the sound too was pretty nice as well. I just thought if they were just taking away the guns, because they didn't show us like a score at the end or anything like that. So I just thought it was kind of like a strange design choice. But other than that, it wasn't bad. All right, let's talk about food. Now, Elitch Gardens has an entire area dedicated to food. They have plenty of restaurants here. They have a lot of seatings that people could sit down at. We decided to go to a fry stand instead, and we got these delicious green chili cheese fries. Now, I highly recommend these. These were definitely my favorite food there. These were savory. They had the right amount of chili. They had the right amount of cheese. They were a nice crispiness, but they also kind of got a little soggy from the chili, but I didn't mind that at all. I thought these were amazing, and they also filled us up quite a bit. So I would say to anybody, if you're going to go get something to eat, you definitely want to be filled up, but you don't want to be, feel like sick or anything like that. And I think this was the perfect meal. So the chili cheese fries for me, green chili, they get a 4 out of 5 star. And then next we have the funnel cake. The funnel cake had it had strawberries on it. It had Oreo crumbs. It had powdered sugar. And I'm not too big of a funnel cake person, but this first bite was pretty good. These first few bites were really good. I mentioned it kind of tasted like a strudel. The thing about a funnel cake though is, I'm not too big on it because if you can see there, it's just kind of tough to eat. You kind of have to pull it apart. You kind of have to touch it a lot. We weren't even given a knife, which was kind of interesting, I guess. And then once you get down to the end of it, once you're done with all the toppings, you just get these massive chunks of just cake, fried cake. And then you get a lot of these little crunchy bits that are kind of hard to like pick out. So, maybe I'm just not too big of a funnel cake person, but for the funnel cake, I gave it a 2 out of 5s. And then I got a nice little beer just to kind of wash down that funnel cake. And then next up is our corn dog that we got with our tater tots. Now these tater tots were terrible because they gave us like the bottom of the bag tater tots. They were all kind of like shredded. But this initial bite, I thought the corn cake around the hot dog was pretty good. But the hot dog itself, and I think just the combination of it all, it was kind of gross. I'm not going to lie. So I gave that a ew. All right, let's talk about Elitch Gardens' games. Now, Elitch Gardens, they have a lot of different games. These ones are they have a lot of these little pockets of like arcade style games that you can go to. You don't necessarily get prizes. The first game, they also have a lot of carnival games. The first carnival game we tried was this ring toss game where you try to hit it on these glass bottles. And I got to tell you, if anybody's ever played this game, they know this is one of the toughest games you can play. I mean, they give you these plastic hard rings in these glass bottles. I'm pretty sure they grease them because you can never actually see these sticks. She said 6 people won, but I guarantee nobody won that day. There's no way. So we didn't win. No prizes for this one. The next one we had was this bag toss. All you have to do is hit a balloon. We got 3 tosses. And then they have like little chips underneath the ones that you were able to hit like that. And they give you a score, and it goes, there's a small, medium, and large prize. Depending on the collection of your 3 chips scored, you get a prize. I think for this one, we got a small prize. And then this one was a bucket toss game. Now, I struggled a lot with these. I had 3 games, 2 balls for each game. Missed my first 2. Everything seemed really bouncy. The balls, I could tell, they were really bouncy. The bucket was bouncy. I had to really get in tune with this to hit it. Finally, on my 4th throw, I hit it. So I'm like, okay, I kind of got it figured out. I got to hit these last 2 if I want to get a prize. So the first toss just barely goes in. I needed that one. Now I have to clutch up, hit this last one, and it just barely stays in, and I just get a prize. Now we get this massive squirtle, and my girlfriend's really happy about that. Now I like watching games like these, specifically these basketball games, because people rarely win this game, but this is the most populated game that I see people play, especially on this one. I mean, people were constantly at this one, and I don't think I saw one person walk away with the prize. And I just love watching people that, they play basketball, they think they're going to be really good at this game. I mean, I did it when I was younger too, but I know for a fact that there are very, very, very few winners on this one. And I don't think anybody won here. And that guy over there was just struggling. He couldn't hit the shot because the rims are so bouncy and the balls are inflated to the absolute max. So nobody's going to win this. Don't even try these games. And this last game was just, people were just tossing the ball and they were just trying to get in like this little slot holes. I think a couple people won this. Now that we covered a few things at Elitch Gardens, I just got to say, overall, I had a great time. I didn't expect to have a good a time as I did have. I think that's partly due to the Yelp reviews that it was getting. I think it got a 2-star on Yelp. A lot of people said that most of the rides were closed. The lines were really long. In my experience, though, I only saw one ride closed, and the lines were really short, partly due to because I went on a Monday. So if anybody's having complaints, just go on a weekday, and you'll have a lot shorter lines. But I'm really excited to go back to the water park next time. I think Elitch Gardens has a lot to offer. The season pass kind of cuts those costs down if you have somebody else to go with. So do that. Well, thanks a lot for watching this video on Elitch Gardens. Hope you have a fun time. See ya.